as we get closer to the end, the truth will become more and more precious, and the people that hold it will have a great responsibility, because the world will reject what they have to say, persecute, hunt them down, and kill them. These truths are hard, and it takes a certain kind of person led by God to bring these truths to the surface. So choose you this day whom ye will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Welcome. Hey guys, have I got a show for you? As you can see, it's Demons in Our Technology. High-tech sacrifice. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I know it's a little bit long, but there's no way I could bring you a topic such as this and information such as this and have it be a short, cut-up video. So I highly suggest you watch all of it, because every minute is as important as the next. We gotta get this if we want to make it through these tribulations. People are messing with quantum realm. They think that it's some new breakthrough, but all it is a deception of Satan. He's tricking mankind into doing certain things, tapping into certain things that are eventually going to break him out of his prison. And they're so foolish and caught up in their own pride and arrogance that they don't even stop to think about it. All this AI being released into the world, all these quantum computers being built and designed, CERN smashing particles, you're not going to want to miss this, okay? Because we are sacrificing our children to this technology. We might not be throwing them in a golden statue of a horned god, but if they go to the pit because they fell from grace, fire is fire. The only way we're going to get through this is by the saving grace of our Lord. You need Jesus, and you need this information. So, once again, I will suggest that you watch every moment. I put a lot of work into this video. I'm on the road in Indiana, so I'm far from home. And it took a little longer to do these things because I'm trying to juggle a lot of stuff out here. But it's done. It's ready. I hope you're ready. Check it out. So this is Demon Computing. Now, as I read this to you, I want you to forget that we're talking about a computer here. And I want you to just think about spiritual possession and how it might work. And compare what your thoughts are to what I'm reading. In multitasking computer operating systems, a daemon is a computer program that runs as a background process rather than being under the direct control of an interactive user. So a daemon runs in the background and is not under the control of the user. Traditionally, the process names of a daemon end with the letter D for clarification that the process is in fact a daemon, and for differentiation between a daemon and a normal computer program. For example, syslogd is a daemon that implements the system logging facility, and SSHD is a daemon that serves incoming SSH connection. Now this is the part I want you to really pay attention to. In a Unix environment, So let's go take a look and see what a Unix is. So this is a family of multitasking and multi-user computer operating systems. So, multiple users. In a Unix environment, the parent process of a daemon is often, but not always, the init process. What's init? In Unix-based computer operating systems, init is the first process started during booting of the operating system. Init is a daemon process that continues running until the system is shut down. It is the direct or indirect ancestor of all processes and automatically adopts all orphaned processes. Alright, so it starts at the beginning and takes control over all processes until it's shut down, even ones that are abandoned. That's what this daemon does. A daemon is usually created by a process, either by a process forking a child process and then immediately exiting, thus causing init to adopt the child process, or by the init process directly launching the daemon. So the daemon is usually created by splitting a child process and then immediately exiting, thus causing the daemon init to adopt the child process, or the init process directly launching the daemon. In addition, a daemon launched by forking and exiting typically must perform other operations such as disassociating the process from any controlling terminal. You guys, if this doesn't sound like spiritual possession, then you're just not paying attention. Such procedures are often implemented in various convenience routines such as Daemon 3 in Unix. Systems often start daemons at boot time that will respond to network requests, hardware activities, and other programs by performing some task. Daemons such as Kronos may also perform defined tasks at scheduled times. The term was coined by programmers at MIT's Project Mac. According to Fernando J. Corbato, who worked on Project Mac in 1963, his team was the first to use the term daemon, inspired by Maxwell's daemon, an imaginary agent in physics and thermodynamics that helped to sort molecules, stating, "We fancifully began to use the word daemon to describe background processes that work tirelessly to perform system chores." Unix systems inherited this terminology. Maxwell's daemon is consistent with Greek mythology's interpretation of a daemon as a supernatural being working in the background. So here they're telling you exactly what it is. In the general sense, daemon is an older form of the word demon. From the Greek, whatever this says, and the Unix System Administration Handbook, Evinemus states the following about daemons. Many people equate the word daemon with the word demon, implying some kind of satanic connection between Unix and the underworld. This is an egregious misunderstanding. Daemon is actually a much older form of demon. Daemons have no particular bias towards good or evil, but rather serve to help define a person's character or personality. The ancient Greeks' concept of a personal daemon was similar to the modern concept of a guardian angel. Eudaimonia is a state of being helped or protected by a kindly spirit. As a rule, Unix systems seem to be infested with both daemons and demons. You guys, this is what's inside your computers. They are straight up telling you that your computers are made with demons, but they're trying to say, no, they're good ones. They just want to make you better. A further characterization of mythological symbolism is that a daemon is something that is not visible yet, is always present and working its will. In the Theages, attributed to Plato, Socrates described his own personal daemon to be something like a modern concept of a moral conscience. The favor of the gods has given me a marvelous gift, which has never left me since my childhood. It is a voice that when it makes itself heard deters me from what I am about to do, and never urges me on. In modern usage, the word daemon is pronounced demon. In the context of computer software, the original pronunciation demon has drifted to daemon for some speakers. Alternatively, terms for daemon are service, used in Windows from Windows NT onward, and later also in Linux. Started Tasks, IBM, and Ghost Job, XTS, UTS. After the term was adopted for computer use, it was rationalized as a backronym for Disk and Execution Monitor. Daemons that connect to a computer network are examples of network services. So, they travel across the web and they infest your computer. I'm reading this right out of their narrative, you guys. It's talking about parental possession, child possession, forking, which is splitting personalities. This is what demon possession is. This is why they call it the Gemini spirit or the Janus spirit. It's two spirits in one body. This is the twin spirit, twinning. They split your personality. And they can come in once they break you. That's what forking is. It's a split, a fork in the road. Unix-like systems. In a strictly technical sense, a Unix-like system process is a daemon when its parent process terminates and the daemon is assigned the init process, process number 1, as its parent process and has no controlling terminal. However, more generally, a daemon may be any background process, whether a child of the init process or not. This is Maxwell's daemon. Maxwell's daemon is a thought experiment that would hypothetically violate the second law of thermodynamics. It was proposed by the physicist James Clerk Maxwell in 1867. In his first letter, Maxwell referred to the entity as a finite being, or a being who can play a game of skills with the molecules. Lord Kelvin would later call it a daemon. In a thought experiment, a daemon controls a small, massless door between two chambers of gas. As individual gas molecules or atoms approach the door, the daemon quickly opens and closes the door to allow only fast-moving molecules to pass through in one direction, and only slow-moving molecules to pass through in the other. Because the kinetic temperature of the gas depends on the velocities of the constituent molecules, the daemon's actions cause one chamber to warm up and the other to cool down. This would decrease the total entropy of the system without applying any work, thereby violating the second law of thermodynamics. The concept of Maxwell's demon has provoked substantial debate in the philosophy of science and theoretical physics, which continues to the present day. It stimulated work on the relationship between thermodynamics and information theory. Most scientists argue, on theoretical grounds, that no practical device can violate the second law in this way. Other researchers have implemented forms of Maxwell's demon in experiments, though they all differ from the thought experiment to some extent, and none have been shown to violate the second law. This sounds a lot like what CERN does it not? And I have found something that violates the second law of thermodynamics. Time crystals. In condensed matter physics, a time crystal is a quantum system of particles whose lowest energy state is one in which the particles are in repetitive motion. The system cannot lose energy to the environment and come to rest because it is already in its quantum ground state. Because of this, the motion of the particles does not really represent kinetic energy like other motion. It has motion without energy. Time crystals were first proposed theoretically by Frank Wilczek in 2012 as a time-based analog to common crystals. Whereas the atoms in crystals are arranged periodically in space, the atoms in time crystal are arranged periodically in both space and time. Several different groups have demonstrated matter with stable periodic evolution in systems that are periodically driven. In terms of practical use, time crystals may one day be used as quantum computer memory. The existence of crystals in nature is a manifestation of spontaneous symmetry breaking, which occurs when the lowest energy state of a system is less symmetrical than the equations governing the system. In the crystal ground state, the continuous translational symmetry in space is broken and replaced by a lower discrete symmetry of the periodic crystal. As the laws of physics are symmetrical under continuous translations in time as well as space, the question arose in 2012 as to whether it's possible to break symmetry temporarily and thus create a time crystal resistant to entropy. So, here we have time crystals, which are created in space and time. That's your 88. Everything quantum is satanic. This is the demonic realm. Quantum, might as well say demonic. The quantum realm is the demonic realm. When people are speaking to demons and manifesting, this is where these things are coming from. In my video, The Matrix, I covered all kinds of this stuff where people were talking to another dimension through this computer, through CERN, through the quantum computer. They're speaking with demons and they know it. Okay, so all this quantum madness is how they're going to open up the pit. They're being led and deceived into creating this technology that's going to open the pit. So here we have daemon, or daemon, which we just saw in computing. Ancient Greek god, godlike, power, fate. Originally referred to a lesser deity or guiding spirit, such as the demons of ancient Greek religion and mythology and of later Hellenistic religion and philosophy. The word is derived from Proto-Indo-European daemon, provider, divider of fortunes or destinies, from the root da, to divide. Daemons were possibly seen as the souls of men of the Golden Age, acting as tutelary deities, according to entry at Liddell and Scott. See also demonic, a religious, philosophical, literary, and psychological concept. So, here they're literally telling you that it's a guiding spirit, just as they said on the computer page. And they're telling you that it means to divide, to split, so that it can possess you. They were used to be seen as the souls of men of the Golden Age. Well, the Golden Age is when Satan was ruling this earth and had pretty much almost complete control. So, this is what is inside of technology. Daemons are lesser divinities or spirits, often personifications of abstract concepts being of the same nature as both mortals and deities. Similar to ghosts, Gothic heroes, spirit guides, forces of nature, or the deities themselves. So, guess what this just said? That these daemons are Nephilim, beings of the same nature as both mortals and deities. So, part man, part angel. Similar to ghosts, this is what the divining spirits are. Nephilim. Chthonic heroes, spirit guides, forces of nature. These are all terminologies for the Nephilim. According to Hesiod's myth, great and powerful figures were to be honored after death as a demon. The Bible calls the Nephilim the mighty men of renown. Here they're called great, powerful figures that were to be honored after death. That sounds like mighty men of renown to me. A daemon is not much of a type of quasi-divine being, according to Burkett, but rather a non-personified, peculiar mode of their activity. In Hesiod's theogony, Phaeton becomes an incorporeal daemon or a divine spirit. But, for example, the ills released by Pandora are deadly deities, cares, not daemons. From Hesiod, also, the people of the Golden Age were transformed into daemons by the will of Zeus to serve mortals benevolently as their guardian angels, good beings who dispense riches. Nevertheless, they remain invisible, known only by their acts. The daemons of venerated heroes were localized by the construction of shrines so as to not wander restlessly, and were believed to confer protection and good fortune on those offering their respects. So this is completely telling us that these are Nephilim spirits. And of course they want you to think that they're good, so that you'll talk to them and that you'll trust them and you'll do what they say. They want you to think that they're benevolent, but they're not. They are here to destroy us. They hate us, they hate mankind, and they want us to be corrupted and destroyed. Why do you think the computer and technology has destroyed humanity? Social media has made people anti-social. Ever since the internet came around and technology has increased in the land, people have gotten less social. They have no regard for humanity. They don't even know how to communicate with each other. If you go to a party with a birthday party for kids, you will see that they're all just sitting on their phones at the same table, looking at their phones, texting each other, but not talking to each other. This is isolating people. This technology is not good. It's demonic. This is why the Bible says that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. These are the devices that they're talking about. People think they didn't have technology back in the day. The fallen angels used to live on this earth in Noah's day. The fallen angels have technology that makes our stuff look like a new civilization. Like baby technology. The stuff that they have, we couldn't even conceive of. And when they come back with their new technology, it is going to lead many into destruction by way of this technology that people will want, so they can become more than they are, more smart, more strong. Put this technology in my body. That's when iron and clay is going to really come into play. It's already started with this medicine, but this is just a prequel. This is just to build people up and get them ready for the Antichrist. The Antichrist spirit is in the earth right now working. It's been working for a long time. Since the New Testament. And what it's doing is it's drip, 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 slowly bringing men into a position to when the Antichrist comes and these fallen entities come, that people will be prepped and ready to accept what they have to offer. This is why the government always slow rolls things and slowly makes transitions, because they work for the dark kingdom to lead us in this one direction. That's why the left and the right argue all the time, and they have these little Congress meetings, and they talk, and they call you to come be a witness, and they just left, right, left, right. And nothing ever gets done. Both sides keep leading us down the same path, but nobody realizes it because they're listening to the rhetoric and hating the other side rather than paying attention to what's really going on. We're being led to destruction. And these demons are helping it happen. So during my research for this video, I came across this article, which had some very interesting things in it. It's called "The Internet is Made of Demons." The Internet is not what you think it is. According to one theory, the Internet is made of demons. Like most theories about the Internet, this one is mostly circulated online. On an Instagram post, I saw a screenshot of a Reddit post containing a screenshot of 4chan post containing a screenshot of a tweet containing two images. On the left, the weird loopy lines of a microprocessor. On the right, the weird loopy lines of a set of Solomonic sigils. The caption said, "Boy, I love trapping demons in microscopic silicon megastructures to do my bidding. I sure hope nothing goes wrong." I will show you this tweet. This is the tweet. There are many sigils, and they do represent silicon structures. So this is a very good and valid point. Now, if you're unsaved, you're not going to be able to see this stuff because you're living in the Matrix. But if your eyes have been opened up to the truth, then you're going to see what I'm showing you. In other versions, the demons themselves are the ones who invented the internet. It's just their latest move in a 5,000-year battle against humanity, as one 4-panel comic meme explains. I'll read this and then I'll show you the meme. The King's Pact binds them. They cannot show themselves or speak to us. Number 1, they need to create ways to see without seeing. Number 2, they need to create ways to speak without speaking. This is the meme right here. This is Solomon's sigil. The King's Pact binds them. They cannot show themselves or speak to us. So this sigil binds them so they can't show themselves or speak. So first they had to create ways to see without seeing. Like Apple or Windows. Demonic stuff. Number 2, they had to create ways to speak without speaking. As you can see here, they created social media. They're simply algorithms, which are AI, which is algorithmic incantation. But we're taught to believe that it's artificial intelligence. Believe me, there is nothing artificial about this intelligence. It is older than time. Pictures of more Solomonic sigils progressing into laptops and iPhones. The 4th panel of the punchline has no words, only a giant, mute, glassy-eyed face. So that's what we just saw. So I'm going to scroll down. I will link this article if you guys want to read it. It is a good read. But there's certain things I want to cover, and it's pretty long, and I don't want to read the whole thing on this video. In 2011, a meta-analysis found that among young people, the capacity for empathy, defined as empathic concern, other-oriented feelings of sympathy, and perspective talking, the ability to imagine other people's point of view, had massively declined since the turn of the millennium. The authors directly associate this with the spread of social media. Keep in mind, this is when the towers came down. In the decades since, it's probably vanished even faster, even though everyone on the internet keeps talking about empathy. We are becoming less and less capable of actual, intersubjective communication. More unhappy, more alone. Every year, surveys find that people have fewer and fewer friends. Among millennials, 22% say they have none at all. For the first time in history, we can simply do without each other entirely. The machine supplies an approximation of everything you need for a bare biological existence. Strangers come to deliver your food. AI chatbots deliver cognitive behavioral therapy. Social media stimulates people to love and people to hate, and hidden inside the microcircuitry, the demons swarm. The Steganographia, a book of magic written by Johannes Trithemius, a Benedictine abbot and polymath around 1499. The Steganographa is a blueprint for the internet. Most of the book is taken up with spells and incantations with which you can summon aerial spirits, who are infinite beyond number, and teem in every corner of the world. Here the purpose of these spirits is to deliver messages, or more properly, to deliver something that is more than a message. Now, if you know anything about physics or quantum computers, and then you will know about entanglement, where they entangle particles. This is what entanglement is. It's demonic messaging. Say you want to convey some secret information to someone. You compose an innocuous letter, but before writing, you face the east and read out a spell, like this one, to summon the spirit of Paramecia. I'm not going to read this. I haven't ever read it, and I will not read it. Immediately, a spirit will become visible. Then once the other person receives the letter, they speak a similar spell. And having said these things, he will soon understand your mind completely. A kind of magic writing that works like speech, instant and immediate, not an object composed by another person, but a direct simulation of their thoughts, and one that's delivered by an invisible, intangible network covering every inch of the world. This is the internet. This is what it really is. Trithemius was a pious man. In a long passage at the start of the book, he insists that these spirits are not demons, and that everything is done in accordance with God, in good conscience and without injury to the Christian faith. But readers had their suspicions. He does repeatedly warn that the spirits might harm you if given a chance. So this is exactly what they tried to tell us about the daemon computing. In this section right here, many people equate the word daemon with demon, implying some kind of satanic connection between eunuchs and the underworld. This is an egregious misunderstanding. Yeah, right. Daemon is actually a much older form of demon. Daemons have no particular bias towards good or evil, but rather serve to help define a person's character or personality. So they're saying the exact same thing as this guy wrote in his book, that they're not demons and that they're there to help. You guys, they are demons. This is what I've been trying to tell people. This is misunderstood. Technology is misunderstood. Spirituality. It gets even crazier. But the Steganographer held the secret, and its real purpose wasn't revealed until a century after its publication. This book of magic is actually a book of cryptography, not magic spells and flying demons, but mathematics. Oh, you mean like ones and zeros? You mean like algorithms? Prometheus warns that Paramecia is insolent and untrustworthy, and that the spirits under his command speed about, and by filling the air with their shouts they often reveal the sender's secrets to everyone around. That's exactly what the internet does. People post stuff, it gets shared around, then they regret it, go into depression, don't want to show themselves in public. This is the kind of stuff that's taking place on the internet every single day. Paramecia and the other spirits are algorithms, early examples of mathematical operations that increasingly govern our lives. They are also the distant ancestors of machines like the Nazi Enigma device, a cipher so powerful that to break its code it was necessary to build the first electronic computer. Who listening to me read this right now thinks that was an accident? Trithemius invented the internet in a flight of mystical fancy to cover up what he was really doing, which was inventing the internet. Demons disguise themselves as technology. Technology disguises itself as demons. Both end up being one and the same thing. The internet dates back 5,000 years, and it's not what you think. Wait till you see this, because I'm going to show you in the book of Jasher where this is, and your mind is going to be blown. In this book, he shows us prototypes for the internet in some unexpected places. Like me, Smith finds demons at the origin of the digital age. Here, it's in the brazen head, a magical contraption supposedly built by the 13th century scholar Roger Bacon. Like a medieval Siri, this head could answer any yes or no question it was given. It was a thing with a mind, but without a soul. Bacon's contemporaries were convinced that the head was real and that he had created it with the help of the devil. 700 years ago, we were already worried about the possibility of an artificial general intelligence. In the book of Genesis, when Jacob decides it's time to leave Laban's house, he takes Rachel and all their stuff and goes. And this is all you can read in the book of Genesis. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he had fled. So he fled with all he had. He rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey and overtook him in the Mount Gilead. Now, I just read this, so when I show you the book of Jasher, you can see that it says the same thing, but it gives you the details of what this image is. So, this is the book of Jasher, chapter 31. We're going to start at verse 38. And Jacob rose up at that time, and he mounted his children and wives, and all the belongings to him upon camels, and he went forth to go to the land of Canaan, to his father Isaac. And Laban did not know that Jacob had gone from him, for Laban had been that day sheep shearing. And Rachel stole her father's images, and she took them, and she concealed them upon a camel upon which she sat, and she went on. And this is the manner of the images. Now, listen closely. In taking a man who is the firstborn, now remember, God says all the firstborn are mine. In taking a man who is the firstborn and slaying him, in taking the hair off his head, and taking salt and salting the head and anointing it in oil, then taking a small tablet of copper or a tablet of gold, and writing the name upon it, and placing the tablet under his tongue, and taking the head with the tablet under the tongue, and putting it in the house, and lighting up lights before it, and bowing down to it. And at the time when they bow down to it, it speaketh to them in all matters that they ask of it, through the power of the name which is written in it. And some make them in figures of men of gold and silver, and go to them in times known to them. And the figures receive the influence of the stars, and tell them future things. And in this manner were the images which Rachel stole from her father. And Rachel stole these images which were her father's, in order that Laban might not know through them where Jacob had gone. And Laban came home, and he asked concerning Jacob and his household, and he was not found. And Laban sought his images to know where Jacob had gone, and could not find them. he went to some other images, and he inquired of them, and they told him that Jacob had fled from him to his fathers, to the land of Canaan. So here you have, and the reason I pointed out that all the firstborn are gods is because when we read here that Bacon's contemporaries were convinced that the head was real and that he had created it with the help of the devil, well, this is talking about slaying the firstborn, which is God's. The firstborn of every creature is God's. So who would Satan want you to sacrifice? The firstborn. This is what an image is. It is a firstborn head. And they make them into things, and some of them just leave them as a head. And this is how they divine. Back in the day. Nowadays, people do this themselves. They don't need a head. They're called psychics or tarot readers or witches. People that speak with familiar spirits. So let's take a look at Roger Bacon. Here's Roger Bacon. Roger Bacon, also known by the scholastic accolade Dr. Mirabilis, was a medieval English philosopher and friar who placed considerable emphasis on the study of nature through empiricism. In the early modern era, he was regarded as a wizard, and particularly famed for the story of his mechanical or necromantic brazen head. He is sometimes credited, mainly since the 19th century, as one of the earliest European advocates of modern scientific method, along with his teacher Robert Grosseteste. Bacon applied the empirical method of Ibn al-Haytham al-Hazan to observations and texts attributed to Aristotle. Bacon discovered the importance of empirical testing when the results he obtained were different than those that would have been predicted by Aristotle. He died in 1929. Aged at 72 or 73. Well, if you add those two numbers together, 7 plus 2 plus 7 plus 3, you get 19. So this is the guy who had a brazen head, an image that he consulted because he was a wizard. Oh, and look what's right above his head. An 8, also known as infinity or the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its tail. Before we move on, I'm going to just show you guys real quick. We're not going to dwell on it, but I want you to see the sigils because I'm going to show you some circuit boards, and then later in the Ant-Man movie, you're going to see these same kinds of symbols in the quantum realm. So I want you to see and know what you're looking for so that when you hear me talking about it, you will understand what I'm trying to tell you. We're not going to study these or anything, okay? We're just going to look at the pictures. So here's a sigil. These are the sigils of Solomon. Okay, notice the circles and the lines and the designs, okay? Just get an idea for it. This is how Solomon controlled demons. Just take a look at this stuff, you guys. This looks just like circuit boards. Not exactly, and not all of them, but a good bunch of them. So take a good look, because you're going to see this stuff. We're going to look at circuit boards next. Here's the one that was in that comic. Okay, so that's those are the symbols. Alright. So just pay attention to the lines and the circles and the patterns, okay? Get an idea of what these things kind of look like in your head, because we're going to look at circuit boards now. Okay? Here's your circles and your lines and your shapes. Here's your circles with the circles in the circle, in the lines going through the squares. Okay? This is computer and smartphone circuitry. Okay? This is what is harnessing the demons. This is how they're being controlled. But don't be fooled like they're being fooled, the people that make these things. Don't be fooled, because these are not going to hold them. When the fallen angels come back, it's a wrap. Don't think they're going to be held by a telephone or a computer, because they're not. I'm just trying to show you guys a few of these things so you can see that, like the keys, they have lines, shapes, circles, squares and circles, okay? This is what we're looking at. Yes, it's different, but this is technology. This is how the demons are held in. This is no joke. These are the modern day sigils, you guys. They've been modernized, put on a circuit board, and used to harness these spirits to do their bidding. This is the forbidden fruit. In some of this computer hardware and software logos, you are going to see many V's. Some of them looking like a check mark, but there will be many V's. So I decided that I should probably show you the significance of the letter V. So I'm just going to scroll down, because there's a bunch of stuff about V that I don't need to show you. What I want to show you is this. V is the symbol for vanadium. It is number 23 on the periodic table. Emerald derives its green coloring from either vanadium or chromium. So, vanadium is the number 23 on the periodic table. We'll get to the number 23 in a minute. Emerald derives its green coloring from either vanadium or chromium. Emerald, this is the color for Lucifer. This is the Emerald Tablet, the Emerald City in the Wizard of Oz. This is Luciferianism. And if we take a look at vanadium, you can see that it's made up of little hexagons piled on top of each other. So, what is the significance of the number 23? Because V and 23 go hand in hand. The number 23 has various occult meanings. According to Kabbalist gematria, it corresponds to the Hebrew words for life and joy. Crowley defined it as meaning the joy of dissolution, which is believed to mean transcendence. Some believe that using the number 23 in occult rituals taps into the manipulated mind control field of artificial lunar forces. This is demonic possession. Astrological references suggest that 23 symbolizes the pentagram and pyramids, and the Quran took 23 years to be finished. The number 23 appears with unusual frequency in various contexts and may be a symbol of some larger hidden significance. Icositrophobia is the fear of the number 23. The I Ching hexagram 23 means break apart, and telegraphers use 23 as the code for break the line. The founding of the Federal Reserve Bank on December 23, 1913, and the number 23 and 13 are powerful numbers of the occult. So, here we're seeing that 23 means to break apart. It stands for demonic possession. It symbolizes the pentagram, and it's used in occult rituals for mind control. So, Satan is the prince of the power of the air. I'm going to show you something. Air Jordan. Michael Jordan was number 23. He could fly like no one else. He flew through the air so much that they called him Air Jordan. Number 23, demon possession. He walked on the air, the prince of the power of the air. Nike made a sneaker line called Nike Air after Jordan, and the number 23. There is something called the 23 Enigma. The 23 Enigma is a belief in the significance of the number 23. The concept of the 23 Enigma has been popularized by various books, movies, and conspiracy theories, which suggest the number 23 appears with unusual frequency in various contexts and may be a symbol of some larger hidden significance. A topic related to 23 Enigma is icositrophobia, which is the fear of the number 23. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen it, and if you haven't, I wouldn't suggest watching it, but Jim Carrey was in a movie called The Number 23. In this movie, he sees the number 23 everywhere. He's a normal guy, but then he starts to see this number everywhere, so much to the point where he gets obsessed with it. And then he finds this book, and he starts reading it, and he is getting deep inside the rabbit hole. So much to the point that through this book, and through the number 23, he ends up knowing where a body's buried. He goes and digs this thing up, and ends up losing his mind. He finds this room, he peels the paper off, the number 23 is written everywhere. Come to find out, it was him the whole time that wrote the book. He was crazy. He was possessed by wickedness through the number 23. Robert Anton Wilson cites William Burroughs as the first person to believe in the 23 Enigma. Wilson, in the 1977 article in Fortean Times, related the following anecdote. I first heard of the 23 Enigma from William Burroughs, author of Naked Lunch, Nova Express, etc. According to Burroughs, he had known a certain Captain Clark around 1960 in Tangier, who once bragged that he had been sailing 23 years without accident. That very day, Clark's ship had an accident that killed him and everybody else aboard. Furthermore, while Burroughs was thinking about this crude example of the irony of the gods that evening, a bulletin on the radio announced the crash of an airliner in Florida, USA. The pilot was another Captain Clark, and the flight was Flight 23. So this number has spiritual wickedness and demon possession all over it. And it is associated with the letter V. 23 is also half human. Humans have 46 chromosomes. So half a human and half demon would be 23. Spiritual possession. This is why these numbers have power. This all goes into numerical spell work. Well, what else is 23? Well, 23andMe, biotechnology company. Biotech, iron and clay. 23andMe. So half human, who do you think me is? That would be the Nephilim, the fallen, Satan. Biotech, you guys. This is mixing iron with miry clay. I hope nobody out there is foolish enough to send their DNA to any of these places, because that is a horrendously awful idea. So this is telling you in the title of the company, 23andMe, it's telling you straight up, half human, half fallen. Biotech, human and technology mixed together, iron and miry clay. So I think we've covered the number 23. There's just one more thing about the letter V that I want to show you. So, when I was younger, my mother used to watch this show called V. And this is the page for the remake. So let's just see what it's about. V is an American science fiction drama television series that ran for 2 seasons on ABC. From November 3rd, 2009 to March 15th, 2011. A remake of the 1983 miniseries created by Kenneth Johnson. The new series chronicles the arrival on Earth of a technologically advanced alien species which ostensibly comes in peace, but actually has sinister motives. Let's read the premise. Giant spaceships appear over 29 major cities throughout the world, and Anna, the beautiful and charismatic leader of the extraterrestrial visitors, declares they come in peace. The visitors claim to only need a small amount of Earth's resources in exchange, for which they will share their advanced technology and medical knowledge. This is exactly what's going to happen when the fallen come. They're going to give us technology and advancements in medicine to help us live longer, to cure diseases. This is the deception that's coming. As a small number of humans begin to doubt the sincerity of the seemingly benevolent visitors, FBI counterterrorism agent Erica Evans discovers that the aliens are actually reptilian humanoids, wearing pseudo-human skin, who have spent decades infiltrating human governments, businesses, and religious institutions, and are now in the final stages of their plan to take over Earth. You guys, I know I'm reading the plot to this show, but I just read you facts. This is exactly what's happening. Erica joins the resistance movement, which includes Ryan, a visitor sleeper agent who over the time developed human emotions and now wants to save humanity. Their rebellion becomes a part of a larger fifth column movement of both humans and visitors opposed to Anna's vague but seemingly menacing plans for Earth and humanity. But their efforts are challenged as the visitors have won favor among the people of Earth by curing a variety of diseases and have recruited Earth's youth, including Erica's son Tyler, to serve them unknowingly as spies. The Bible tells us that the children will rise up against their parents, that the end times is the children of disobedience. You guys, this is exactly what the Bible says is going to happen, and this is exactly what is happening. So here we have tied in the letter V and the number 23 all together, and it's all about being deceived, mind control, demon possession, so that they could take us over. I hope that you can hear me. I really do, because I am going to show you a bunch of technology, logos from software and hardware companies for computers, phones, what have you. And I'm going to show you how demonic this stuff is. And when you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. And when I read to you about this demon technology and all the other stuff I got to show you, there'll be no denying this stuff. I've been trying to warn people that technology harnesses spirits. It's spirits. AI is algorithmic incantations. That's what it really stands for. It's the summoning of demons. So, let's move on. So now that we know what the letter V means, when I show that to you in these logos, you'll understand. Because some of them have normal sounding names, but their logo will be a V in some way, shape, or form. So I wanted to cover this because this is like an undercover logo design that, unless you know what the V means, then you wouldn't understand the logo. And have you seen V for Vendetta? I'm sure you have. Everybody's into this Guy Fawkes mask, who is demonic, by the way. But V in that movie was also a superhuman who got that way by being injected with experimental technology until he became superhuman. So, keep all this in mind as we go through the show. Here is the first Apple computer, the Apple I. The One I. The Apple with the bite taken out. Original price $666.66. So, what is a computer? Well, if we use Apollo calculations, and every number is 6, And then the second letter will be 2 6s. C will be 3, D 4, and so on. So when you add up computer, you get 6 6 6. These machines are completely demonic. They always have been. They always will be. So let's dive in to these computer companies a little bit. Alright guys, to show you a brief history on the startups of computers, to show you that these are demonic. They've always been demonic, and they've always had the intention of bringing us to where we are right now. This is the IBM System 360. Yep, that's 3 6s. IBM System 360 is a family of mainframe computer systems that was announced by IBM on April 7th, 1964, and delivered between 1965 and 1978. So you'll notice that from 1965 to 1978 is 13 years. And you'll notice that the release date is April 7th, 1964. Now, if you've been following my videos, then you know about the number 47 being the man mixed with iron, iron mixed with clay, the superhuman, man mixed with technology. Like in the Hitman movie. Watch my Trump video on Agenda 47 if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, this IBM 360 was released on 4/7/47 in 1964, which is 9 and 11. 47 and 9 and 11 on the System 360. 3 times 6, 6, 6, 6. IBM stands for I, the one I, B as in the hive, M as in Moloch. This is who we now, in the day of technology, sacrifice our children to. All of our children have been sacrificed to technology, and this will be their downfall. IBM is written like prison bars because it is a trap. It says it stands for International Business Machines, but it stands for IB Moloch. And this is how they bring you into the hive. That's what the B is, not the letter B, but B-E-E. I as in E-Y-E, B as in B-E-E, M as in Moloch. This is the new way to sacrifice children. It doesn't matter if people are throwing their kids into a burning statue of a giant horned god, or throwing them into the pit of hell because they're possessed by technology. It's all the same thing. Here is the first Apple computer. It's called the Apple I, like apple of my eye. Apple Computer 1 originally released as the Apple Computer, later known as Apple I or Apple I. So the Apple I was released 47 years ago. Now, if you think like, oh, well, you could have looked at this last year and it would have been 46. That's right, I could have. But this year is 2023, which is 322 backwards, which is skull and bones. This is the year of testing. This is the year that the things are going to go off the rails. And it's no coincidence that it was released 47 years ago for $666, the number of the beast, 0.66, the number of Apollo. So there's 2 computer companies so far that you can see are completely evil. And we all know that Apple's logo is an apple with a bite taken out of it. The forbidden fruit. The tree of knowledge. What do you think computers give you? What do you think computers bring you? They bring you knowledge of good and evil. Microsoft Windows. September of the year 2022, which is 6. So as of September, the most recent version of Windows is Windows 11. Released in September. 11. 9. Windows 11. Are you seeing a pattern here? Are you picking up what I am putting down? Because this stuff is no joke. Now let's switch over and look at some software companies, some hardware companies, graphics cards, to show you what's inside and what people are trying to get. So here we have AMD Radeon RX 6600 XT. So you can see that these were made by a claw, much like the Monster drink. Their logo can be looked at one of 2 ways. It can be looked at as the tip of the spear, which pierced Jesus in the side, or it can be looked at so you have a cube inside of a cube. This is the Tesseract, the 88. If you don't know why the Tesseract is an 88, it's because it has 8 connection points in a cube. And a cube inside of a cube is 88. That is why a cube is used to signify Satan's prison. But moving on, here we have Apollo's number, 66, and it says AMD RDNA. RDNA, look at it, it's red. Who do you think's DNA they're talking about? Not humans. This is talking about fallen angels' DNA, our DNA, technology, our DNA to architecture. So they're transferring their DNA to architecture, to hardware. And people are eating it up. 1080 Full HD. Take away the zeros, 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. 8 gigs of memory. RDNA to architecture. Apollo. The Tesseract. Let's move on. Here's another graphics card. Red Devil. Giant V, big horns. Don't really need to say much more about this one, do I? Here we have Red Dragon. Look in the background. There is a sigil. You guys, this stuff is full on satanic. Here we have Zotac Gaming. Look at their logo. There's your V. Here's another one. The Hellhound from AMD. Why would you need to name your graphics card a Hellhound and have a triangle behind him, which we all know is 60 degrees by 60 degrees by 60 degrees. Vision Tech. Here's another V. Remember, we discussed V. Here is Overclocked logo. You can see you have two Ouroboros, and this one winds into an 8. So it's an infinite Ouroboros. This is demonic symbology, you guys. This is what's in our computers. Here's a logo that you're all familiar with. Adobe. You got your 6, you got your 6, and you got your 6. Here we have another graphics card with the Eye of Horus. Here is another graphics card with Cerebus on it. Why would you need Cerebus on your box and on your graphics card to sell a graphics card? What is the point of this symbolism? You guys, this stuff is evil. It is straight up evil. Here's something, Daemon Tools. This is for fixing your computer. Daemon Tools. We talked about demons. These demons will help fix your computer. Well, isn't that nice of them? Here's a sweet looking graphics card, right? Devil 13. Are you kidding me? Look at you guys, it comes with a seal on it. This is so satanic. Here you have a D for devil inside of a cube, inside of a coiled copper blue-blooded serpent. Here's the beginning, here's the end. The Ouroboros, the blue blood, cold-blooded, forever cooling the devil in the cube. Here's NVIDIA's Gigabyte. More one-eye symbolism. As a matter of fact, NVIDIA's symbol is a one-eye symbolism, which is a portal, the eye gate, the eye portal. And of course, it's the 1030. Take away the zeros. Google is straight up Lucifer's company. Google is designing how we use the internet. And just in case you've never seen this before, I have showed it before. But this is the sigil of Lucifer. This is the Play Store logo. When you put them on top of each other, you can completely see that this is exactly what it is. And here's the V, you guys. I'm telling you, this V is evil. Here's another picture of the sigil of Lucifer and the Play Store, so you can see there's no mistaking this. Here's your G for Google. Here's your G for Gayatu, the grand architect of the universe. Well, here's the grand architect of the metaverse, or virtual reality, whatever you want to call it. This new tech that everybody's in, the Matrix. Whether you believe it or not, Google is a big part of making this all happen. People are using chatbots, but what they don't understand is that Google's LaMDA is the one that builds these chatbots. It's like Vicky in iRobot. Shown you this before, but in case you haven't seen it, Chrome's logo is 666. And it's a one eye. And in case you didn't know it, Chrome's GPU is called Adreno. Look it up. Adreno Chrome. Starting to feel the satanicness of this technology, you guys? ICE Q X2. This is his power. I power his. See the lightning? I beheld Satan as lightning. I power. Q. I hope you guys can see this stuff. I'm trying to just cruise through it because I know this video is getting long. But you guys gotta see this stuff. This stuff is evil. These machines are evil. Here's Nero. Platinum. Nero was one of the antichrists of old days. 7 in 1. 7 Satans in one body. 7 heads, 1 Lucifer. Damon Tools' newest tools. Again, I beheld Satan as lightning. Damon Tools 8.2. That's 2 8s. 88. Check out this graphics card. This is what it comes in. This, my friends, is a tesseract. Tesseract is a cube that opens up into a cross. Look at what they give you. A nice demonic glass idol. This is craziness. Here's another red devil with a sigil. This is insane, you guys. I can't even believe this stuff. And that people don't see it amazes me. Here is BioStar with their triangle pyramid logos with a 6 inside each one. So here's your 66 inside the pyramids, called BioStar. What's bio? Well, we're bio. And what's a star? Well, that's angel. Iron, star, clay, bio. BioStar, mixing iron with clay. Gigabyte's one eye symbolism. This is Red Dragon. I mean, come on, you guys. There's another red devil. I'm just showing you guys these boxes and stuff because I can't believe that people don't get it when they buy this stuff. They just buy it. Tricky. That's what this one's called. Tricky. Yeah, because they are tricky, aren't they? Here's your 66 inside of a hexagram. So what is a hexagram? It's a 6-sided shape. So here you have 6, 6, 6, and 6, 6, 6. Now, I know some of you are going to say, those aren't 6s. Well, in the mirror dimension, which is where Satan lives, they are. So now we're going to look at some software logos. I'll try to cruise through these as fast as I can because I know this video is getting long, but this is important to see. Astro 666 inside of the ring. Here's Dell inside the ring. Here's your 6. See, this is a cube. That's why it's on its side, because there's a flat here and a flat here. That gives it 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, 4 side, 5 side, 6 side. See, that's why it's tilted to make it into a hexagon. Symantec, here's your V. Intel, here's your Ouroboros. Adobe, here's your triangle, your pyramid. Here inside of it is the tip of the spear. Here's Trump. We covered AMD, Oracle. I mean, that's not even trying. So here are some more. Look at Compaq's. Q. Here's your IB Moloch, prison bars, the trap. Here's Apple's logo, Crunch, the forbidden fruit, the tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge that we are partaking in. NVIDIA's eye gate, the one eye symbolism, and the portal. Microsoft's logo, cubes inside of a cube. Also in Microsoft's logo, you have four-sided squares, which is 8 and 8. Kaspersky's antivirus, here's another V. Altec Lansing, here's another portal. Seagate, here's another portal. BenQ. D-Link. Now these guys, they make quantum computers. So if you want to know about D-Link, I did a big video on them called What is the Matrix? Eyeball. Don't think that this is not BAAL. It's just spelled differently, you guys. I am ball. IB Moloch. You guys picking up what I'm putting down here? Bigfoot Networks. It's very serpentine. Fort. iNet. Little 8 cubes. That is a tesseract. 8 points on a cube. LG. One eye and a face. One eye symbolism. Q, nap. Right? Because this technology puts you to sleep. Puts you into the matrix. Symantec. Sim. Fake. Man tech. Fake man tech. Sinology. Teaching you how to sin. Sinology. Are you guys seeing this stuff? Trend Micro. Here is the Ouroboros. The head eating the tail. Here are some applications. Webpack. Here is your cube inside of a cube. Your 88, or if you want to look at it as size, you have 66. Here's one called Babel. The Tower of Babel, right? Where the tongues were confused, but now they've been reunited so people can babble. Sentry, which is a serpent shaped as a pyramid. Vagrant, here's your V. Terraform, here is your cube. Prometheus, I mean, come on, you guys. Fabric of space and time. Another triangle, salt and vault, 2 pyramids. Here's another pyramid. Here's one eye symbolism. Here's more one eye symbolism. Obviously Alienware, right? Because what are aliens? Fallen angels. Lexmark. Lex, who's Lex? Lex Luthor. What is he? A villain. The villain. Satan's mark. Mitsubishi Electric. There's your pyramid. Quantum, obviously, you got your Q there. I, Omega. I, Omega. Right? Because Satan likes to think he is God. Fujitsu. Here's your 8. Linux. They use a penguin because he's black and white. Like the chessboard, they're playing both sides, leading us all into destruction. You guys, I could go on for days and days and days, and we would never get to the end of it. Look at this stuff. Ouroboros, 3Com, 3 rings, like Oddfellows. This is a Freemason symbol. Here's another cube or a hexagon. Here's a red wolf. Here's another V. Here's another pyramid. I'm just buzzing through these right now, seeing what catches my eye, because we're getting into the time. That's just like a serpent. Oh, look. His. Who do you think his is? StarTech. What do you think this means, StarTech? Fallen angel. That's what a star is an angel. StarTech. This is fallen angel technology. Here we have Lexar. Lex again, the villain. Here's Encore with your little pitchfork. Verbatim. Another V. Here's another pyramid. What is this? I don't know. It looks like a dragon or a phoenix. Oracle. Looks like a phoenix wings. The Calvary. Yeah, because they're coming to war against us. Ben Q. Think about this for a second. How long has he been Q? Forever. In win. You're going to see this in the Ant-Man. Because he's going to win, he says. Roswell. That sounds like Roswell. Titan. Come on, you guys. This is unbelievable. Is this a better one of the Fujitsu? You can see the 8 really well. Oh, here's one. Gateway. Look at you guys. It's a cube. And what's inside of it? Oh, it looks like a cow. Because we are the cattle. Are you starting to get it? We are the cattle. And they're trying to trap us in their matrix. Here are a few more programs. Biohazard in the hexagram. The umbrella, right? The pins, Mary Poppins, right? The needle, the ferrule. Here's A squared. We got Q2. Here's another V with 3 claw rips in it. Here's another 66 in a cube. This one, they're not even trying. Straight up eyeball. Here's the Ouroboros. So that's all of these slides I got for you guys. I hope you can see what I'm trying to show you, because this stuff is demonic from top to bottom. This technology is fallen angel technology. And when they come back, all the people that are hooked on this technology and think it's wonderful and think it's great are never going to be able to resist the technology they're going to be bringing to make you stronger, smarter, faster, give you bionic limbs, make you live longer, make you young again. These are the things that are coming on this world. And if you can't pull away from this kind of stuff, then you're in trouble. You are in trouble. Now, I know that I'm making videos on this technology. I know I'm using this technology so that you can watch it on your technology. I get all that, believe me. But we're using this for good. Okay, this is the forbidden fruit. And we are using it for good. Okay? We want our eye to be single, full of light. Alright, you guys. Thanks for watching to the end. I hope that you picked up what I put down. I hope you're seeing the things that the Holy Spirit is wanting you to see. I hope that you can understand and you're making the connections. I really don't see how anybody couldn't make the connections with all the information that was just brought forward. But if you can't, pray to the Lord. Ask for understanding. Ask for insight. Study. Read. Look this stuff up for yourself. There's nothing quite like researching things for yourself to really seal it into your mind. I hope that you guys receive this message well and that you know what to do. Jesus is the only way. Wean your kids off of this stuff. Wean yourself off of this stuff. Use it only for good. If you have a technology addiction, when the fallen come back, it's over for you before it even begins, and for your children, and for anyone. Don't be one of those people. Prepare yourself. Understand what these devices are, for we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, and this is exactly what they are. Until next time, take care.